And speak to Filiz Katman, a senior fellow at the Center for Syrian Studies at the University of St. Andrews. Filiz, it's always a pleasure to have you on. Trust is the most important issue here, but can the Syrian government really trust the YPG to honor this agreement?
The trust is a two-way road, as you have mentioned, as long as the trust can be achieved from both sides. It is not with the speeches they made. Actions definitely signify whether the trust is valid or it is only on the paper. While regarding the checking the level of trust among the parties, this time we should also look at the actions of other parties, which are some kind of related to the counterpart of the agreement, the other side, not the Syrian state, but the other side, because without their support, financial, logistical, and political support, they are not state actors, they are non-state actors, they cannot stay alive. So that's why for their survival, they need the support of those state actors who have some kind of interest to use them as a proxy. So yes, while talking about the trust between these two parties, the trust with each other is vital, but we should also look at whether Syrian government can trust both the support they receive from other countries for this agreement to stay active, and also the support provided to the non-state actors who are on the other side of the table as well.
But what about the command and control structure of the YPG terror group in terms of if the leadership has signed a deal with the government in Damascus, does that mean that every member will follow? Because there are many YPG terrorists who regard President al-Shara almost as a traitor.
This is one complicated issue with regard to the situation in Syria, because it was a kind of umbrella organization that there are members of groups, so on and so forth, and they are disintegrated right now. And the command structure in this one is not the one that we understand from a kind of official organ like in the state. The command structure does not act like the way that we know in the hierarchical organizations. So still we have some information coming from the field that there are individual actors that do not think like their authority on top. So this kind of action create a kind of challenge on the fragility of the deal agreed between these two actors. So this is the problem of the non-state actors, that we do not have that kind of strict command and order mentality valid in the members, and that's why the deadline is extended, because we know that from the field there are ones who do not want to give up their weapons, do not to follow the order given by their commanders. So this is the trouble that try to be accomplished against the actions that are taken by state actors on the field.
Filiz, how do you see the situation of those thousands of Daesh prisoners who have been held for many, many years in jails controlled by the YPG terror group? And also, how do you assess the dangers of a Daesh resurgence in northern Syria?
This is another issue that we should definitely pay attention, because according to the Western states, these groups are supported logistically, financially, politically in order to fight against these terrorist groups, ISIS. And right now it is one item on the agreement that they will be released. And we all know from the counterterrorism studies that the process should be taken care so, how can I say, carefully. What will happen to them, how they will be transferred, how they will be integrated into the society. There should be a kind of very concrete steps for those people in order not to pose another threat, because with regard to the structure of this terrorist organization, it's a kind of loose structure. They are not centralized as well. So this kind of mentality creates a lot of problems. So they may activate themselves as a kind of terrorist organization member, but despite the fact that there is no such an order. So this is a very complicated issue. And in this manner, we should also look at the ones that can be used in other places. So this is one argument, that while we have a kind of Assad regime failed and we have a new rule in Syria, the supported non-state actors, proxy actors, supported by other countries who have interests in the region, they moved to Iraq. And right now there are rumors that they are moving to Iran for the things happening in Iran. So very complicated issues. It's a very fragile, it's a very thin ice that it might be broken and it might become a kind of a huge lake which may drown the agreement. So that's why, as studied in the counterterrorism studies, the process should be concretely and very carefully designed and followed, monitored in a very, how can I say, in a very detailed approach. This is one challenge that Syrian state must accomplish against fragility.
Filiz Katman, thank you so much for the analysis.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.